Incidentally, I know how you feel about all this Christmas business, getting depressed and all that. I never get what I really want. What is it you want? Real estate.
Beginning in 1965, Charles Schulz brought Peanuts from the newspaper page to television with A Charlie Brown Christmas, redefining what animated holiday specials could be. That success led not only to annual holiday traditions, but also to the franchise's first theatrical leap with the 1969 film A Boy Named Charlie Brown. Together, they cemented Peanuts as a permanent part of American seasonal culture, returning year after year in different forms. Here are 10 weird behind-the-scenes facts you may not know. Oh, and have you ever wondered where the idea for the Great Pumpkin comes from? Stay for the bonus and get the scoop.
Charlie? Charlie Brown? Holy hell! The old blockhead comes back from the big city.
Number 1. A Charlie Brown Christmas was the Peanuts gang's first ever TV special. In fact, there were no plans for a Christmas special until a Coca-Cola representative suddenly called producer Lee Mendelson and asked if one was already in the works. Mendelson said yes, assuming they'd have time to figure it out, only to be told a story draft was needed within 5 days. Charles Schulz and director Bill Melendez worked feverishly to create the entire story in a single afternoon.
Here he comes! Attention, everyone! Here's our director!
Number 2. The Rocks incident sparked real viewer backlash. After It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown aired in 1966, many viewers were genuinely upset that Charlie Brown repeatedly received rocks instead of candy. Parents wrote letters complaining that the scene was too cruel for a holiday special. Some fans even mailed bags of candy directly to Schulz's office.
Oh, you didn't tell me you were gonna kill it.
Number 3. A Charlie Brown Christmas killed aluminum tree sales. Aluminum Christmas trees were marketed beginning in 1958 and enjoyed fairly strong sales by eliminating messy needles and tree sap. But the annual airings of A Charlie Brown Christmas swayed public thinking. In the special, Charlie Brown refuses to get a fake tree. Viewers began to do the same, and the product was virtually phased out by 1969.
This really brings Christmas close to a person. Fantastic.
Number 4. The Little Red-Haired Girl was inspired by Donna Mae Johnson, a real woman whom Charles Schulz dated seriously and proposed to in 1950. Schulz often kept her distant or unnamed, mirroring his own lingering feelings after the relationship ended. The character became less about romance itself and more about the quiet ache of wanting something just out of reach.
You know, after you gave Heather that long, passionate kiss. Kiss? Me? A kiss?
Number 5. Charlie Brown's head was an animation nightmare. Director Bill Melendez refused to alter Schulz's original comic strip designs, even though they were never meant to move. Charlie Brown's perfectly round head made it surprisingly difficult to show him turning or reacting naturally, and his tiny arms often couldn't reach basic gestures like scratching his head. Animators constantly had to cheat poses and angles to make him feel alive.
Take old Snoopy with you. He's a hunting dog. He'll... Good grief.
Number 6. When Schulz was developing Charlie Brown's dog in the late 1940s, his original idea was to name the character Sniffy. He abandoned the name after learning it was already associated with another published comic. He then recalled his mother saying that if they ever got another dog, they should name it Snoopy.
This is the way to do it. Blech! My lips touch dog lips!
Number 7. Peanuts was animated years before the Christmas special. Although A Charlie Brown Christmas was the first animated Peanuts television special, it was not the first time the characters were animated. From 1959 to 1964, the Peanuts gang appeared in a series of commercials for the Ford Motor Company, directed by Bill Melendez. Charles Schulz was initially opposed to seeing his characters animated, fearing they would lose their tone and simplicity. It was Melendez's sensitive handling of the Ford ads that earned Schulz's trust, and ultimately convinced him to move forward with the half-hour Christmas special.
I'm afraid all this would be absolutely wasted on anyone but a genuine lively one.
But how can you tell if a person is a genuine lively one? By the way they live, the way they think, and by the way they dress.
Number 8. Charlie Brown was named after a real coworker. Before Peanuts, Schulz created a precursor strip called Lil Folks, where an early version of a character named Charlie Brown appeared. The name came from one of Schulz's fellow teachers at art instruction, where Schulz worked in 1946. That early Charlie Brown looked nothing like the round-headed character audiences later knew, but the name stuck. It was one of several real-life details Schulz quietly folded into his most famous creation.
I got an invitation to a Halloween party. It's the first time I've ever been invited to a party. There were 2 lists, one to invite and one not to invite. You must have been put on the wrong list.
Number 9. Linus was named after a real-life cartoonist friend. Linus von Pelt was named after Linus Maurer, a close friend of Charles Schulz. Schulz later said Maurer was the first person to see his earliest sketch of Linus, and he honored him by using his name. Maurer remained a lifelong friend of Schulz and passed away in 2016 at the age of 90.
Charlie? Hey, Linus. Wow. How you been? Can I come in?
No, the bodies are still here.
Number 10. Schulz killed the idea of a laugh track without saying a word. In the 1960s, nearly every television comedy, including animated shows like The Flintstones, used a canned laugh track to cue audiences.
Did you get your paper, dear?
Producer Lee Mendelson initially assumed A Charlie Brown Christmas would follow the same rule. When Mendelson mentioned the idea, Charles Schulz silently stood up and left the room for several minutes, before returning and continuing the meeting as if nothing had been said. Mendelson took the hint, and the special aired without a laugh track, a risky choice that became one of its defining features.
I quit and walked out of the room, half serious, half kidding. I looked at Bill and I said, "What does that mean?" He says, "That means there's going to be no laugh track."
Now for a bonus. So where did the idea for the Great Pumpkin come from? Schulz was fascinated by faith without proof, and Linus's unwavering belief in the Great Pumpkin gave him a way to explore themes he cared deeply about, including conviction, ridicule, disappointment, and dignity in belief. Unlike Santa Claus, the Great Pumpkin never appears, turning the story into an emotional parable rather than a traditional holiday fantasy. Schulz also drew from his own experiences of being mocked for deeply held beliefs.
When are you going to stop believing in something that isn't true?
With Linus standing alone in the pumpkin patch, reflecting his recurring theme of the sincere outsider who believes fully and quietly pays the price for it.
You owe me restitution! If he sees us fighting, he might not come.